Sankirtan ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Srimad Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, text number 5. Kannst du das Incense ausmachen? Danke. Aparem midastvanyam. Aparyamitastvanyam Prakritim vidime para Prakritim vidime param Jiva bhutam mahabaho Jiva bhutam mahabaho Yayedhang dharyate jagat Yayedham dharyate jagat Apareyam mitastvanyam Prakritim vidime param Jiva bhutam mahabaho Yayedham dharyate jagat
Paryamitastvanyam Prakritim vidime param
Prakritim vidime param Jiva bhutam mahabaho
Yayedham dharyate jagat
Yayedham dharyate jagat
Aparyam itastva anyam
Aparyam mitastvanyam
Prakritim vidime param
Prakritim vidime param
Jiva bhutam mahabaho
Jiva bhutam mahabaho
Yedam driyate jagat
Yayedham dharyate jagat Aparyam mitastvanyam Prakritim vidime param Jiva bhutam mahabaho Yayedham dharyate jagat. Ladies.
Apareyam itastvanyam
Apareyam mitastvanyam
Prakritim vidime param
Prakritim vidime param
Jiva bhutam mahabaho
Jiva bhutam mahabaho
Jajadam dharyate jagat
Yayedham dharyate jagat. Uno más. Pareyam mitastvanyam Prakritim vidime param Jiva bhutam mahabaho Yayedham dharyate jagat. Aparaya inferior. Iyam this. Ita besides this. Tu but. Anyam another. Prakritim energy. Vidhi just try to understand. Me my. Param superior. Jiva bhutam comprising the living entities. Mahabaho almighty armed one. Yaya by whom? Idam this. Dharyate is utilized or exploited. Jagat, the material world. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind, which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Here it is clearly mentioned that living entities belong to the superior nature or energy of the Supreme Lord. The inferior energy is matter manifested in different elements, namely earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Both forms of material nature, namely gross, earth, etc., and subtle, mind, etc., are products of the inferior energy. The living entities who are exploiting these inferior energies for different purposes are the superior energy of the Supreme Lord. And it is due to this energy that the entire material world functions. The cosmic manifestation has no power to act unless it is moved by the superior energy, the living entity. Energies are always controlled by the energetic. And therefore the living entities are always controlled by the Lord. They have no independent existence. They are never equally powerful, as unintelligent men think. The distinction between the living entities and the Lord is described in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 87th chapter, text number 30, as follows. Aparamita dhruvastanubrito yadi sarvagatas tarhi nashayeteti niyamao dhruvane tarata ajani chanyamayam tadavimuchya niyantri bhave samam manujanatam yadamatam matadushtataya. O Supreme Eternal, if the embodied living entities were eternal and all-pervading like you, then they would not be under your control. But if the living entities are accepted as minute energies of your Lordship, then they are at once subject to your supreme control. Therefore, real liberation entails surrender by the living entities to your control. And that surrender will make them happy. In that constitutional position only can they be controllers. Therefore, men with limited knowledge who advocate the monistic theory that God and the living entities are equal in all respects are actually guided by a faulty and polluted opinion. Kannst du Sachen aufmachen da? Danke dir. The Supreme Lord Krishna is the only controller, and all living entities are controlled by him. These living entities are his superior energy, because the quality of their existence is one and the same with the Supreme, but they're never equal to the Lord in quantity of power. While exploiting the gross and subtle inferior energy, matter, the superior energy, the living entity, forgets his real spiritual mind and intelligence. This forgetfulness is due to the influence of matter upon the living entity. But when the living entity becomes free from the influence of the illusory material energy, he attains the stage called mukti, or liberation. The false ego, under the influence of material illusion, thinks, I am matter, and material acquisitions are mine. His actual position is realized when he's liberated from all material ideas, including the conception of his becoming one in all respects with God. Therefore, one may conclude that the Gita confirms the living entity to be only one of the multi-energies of Krishna. And when this energy is freed from material contamination, it becomes fully Krishna conscious or liberated. Aparayam mitastvanyam prakritim midime param jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam daryate jagat. Besides these almighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kedamhayam Dadhati Swapadantikam Jayasi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Giradhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripadamaham vande Sri Guru Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. So here we have Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, explained to his dear friend and devotee Arjuna, and thus to the world, what is what. You have to understand what is what. This is called Sambandha Gyan, or knowledge about identity and relationship. Most relationships are over before they even start, because we don't know who we are, and we don't know who the other person is. Have you noticed? Have you noticed? A few people have noticed. So, it's important to know who you are, because it's very easy to be under mistaken conception of self. Most of the people you would interview them, they would say, I'm my job, I'm my gender, I'm my nationality, I'm my age, I'm my economic, social, political view or position. But those are all designations. They're identifications. There's identification and there is identity. Now, in the previous verse, if you remember, 7.4, Bhumi rapo nalo vayu kamano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yangme bina prakriti rastada. Krishna was explaining to Arjuna the 5 gross material elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Ether also known as space, der Raum, the space in which you move. And then the 3 subtle elements, which are mind, intelligence, and ego or false ego, the perception of who we think we are. So these are the 5 gross and 3 subtle elements. And it's very easy to fall under the trap to think that this is me. Have you noticed? You have noticed. A few people have noticed. It's very easy to fall under that trap and to become captivated by the idea that I am this machine. But this is called a yantra. A yantra is a machine, something that moves for a certain amount of time, but it only moves because aparyamitastvanyam prakritim pidime para jiva bhuta mahabaho yayedam tarite jagat. A machine only moves if there is an operator. Have you noticed? Every car, every machine, every airplane, every bulldozer, anything, even any mobile phone, only can operate if there is someone that actually takes action and takes control. And that is the soul proper. So Krishna is giving this Sambandha Gyan, knowledge about identity, which is elementary, but it is required. Because without elementary school, without ABC, there is no PhD. And that's where a lot of people go off the track, because they are claiming to understand higher realms of philosophy and metaphysics, yet they fail to understand the basic epistemology, the definition of terms, just like this is a table and this is a microphone. If I will call this table and I will call this microphone, then we got a problem. You understand? So in a similar way, because the terms are not clear and we have placed our sense of self into externals, into identification, into labels, into tags, we have become enamored, we have become captivated by matter. We think I am the job. We think I am my situation where I'm in right now. But all these things are temporary. They're real, but temporary. Now, the Mayavadis, they say everything is false. Jagan Mitya. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mitya. Brahman, or the spiritual energy, is true, is substance, is reality, but anything else is false. Doesn't exist. At that point, we tell them, well, hand me over your wallet. It's false. It's an illusion. It doesn't exist. You don't exist. I don't exist. Your house doesn't exist. Your car doesn't exist. I'll take care of it. Don't worry. At this point, the person won't accept defeat because they're not that honorable, but they will usually try to evade the discussion and disappear because they cannot really earn up to the fact that things are existing, albeit they are temporary, thus always changing. Law of preservation of energy. Energy transforms, but it can never disappear. It has to be always in some form of existence. So here in this beautiful purport, Srila Prabhupada is quoting a verse from the 87th chapter of the 10th canto, which is entitled Prayers of the Vedas Personified. Beautiful glorification of the Supreme Lord by the different sections of the Vedas, the Upanishads, and they're all glorifying the different aspects, the different potencies of the Supreme Lord. The Lord has unlimited potencies. For us, we know there are the three primary ones: His internal energy, His external energy, and His marginal energy. Us, the jivas. Yet, the Lord has unlimited energies, and through His energies, through His potencies, what does He do? Svabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. Everything is happening as if automatic. And that's why people, because they can't see the operator, so they think, oh, nature, oh, instinct, oh, destiny. But they don't understand who is behind that, who makes it happen. It's like a small child at home thinks like, oh yeah, clothes appear and food appears and, I'm going places and I'm doing things, but it doesn't understand that this is all made possible by the arrangement of the hard work of the parents. But I take it for granted. Have you noticed? Have you seen this kind of scenario? Do you remember at one point when you realized someone's actually going to work, someone's actually going to the store, someone's actually cooking? It wasn't just like bada bing, bada boom, but people actually had to endeavor to make this happen. So in a similar way, when we study the Vedic literatures, we're supposed to gain knowledge about our identity and the knowledge of Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead, and see how He's orchestrating this magnificent playground. For which purpose? For which purpose has Krishna created this world?
So we can enjoy and to suffer.
Yeah, pretty much. Because out of His compassion. Just like the parents. They say, okay, all right, let's go to the beach, right? Let's go to vacation. Why? Because the kids want to play, right? So, and they know they will have fun and they will suffer. But they know this is part of the growing up process. So, they have to go through that. And in this way, they will actually mature. They will actually realize, this world is not so great, and it's also not so bad. It's always kind of matumati. It's always kind of medium, 50-50. And Tabhuta sarvalokesmi sura asure, no. Abrahma bhuvana loka punaravarjino juna mamupetya tukanteya, that from the highest planet to the lowest, they're all places of birth and death, so they're all places of misery. And an intelligent person should come to the conclusion that let me get out of this situation. Just like you may be in a nice place. Somebody may have been very, generously disposed and say, okay, today you get the guru room, you get the sannyasi room. It happens sometimes, right? You get a free upgrade to business class. And then you think, oh yeah, I'm enjoying. There is a bottle of water here. And but then the next day, you may be kicked out. Because two swamis show up. And they say, down you go, back to economy class. back to the ashram. And you think, oh, how terrible, how terrible. But in fact, there isn't really much change at all. It is all happening in our mind because of the misidentification with our situation. So the Vedic scriptures tell us, don't try to make a permanent settlement in this temporary world. When you're traveling, you're in a motel, don't take out all the curtains and the pictures and, and try to make it all nice, goody, goody, goody. Because, I'll be here for a couple hours and then I'm on my way. That's why Prabhupada signed his letters, Camp Los Angeles, Camp Mayapur, Camp New Vrindavan. You know what camp means? It's a military term. It means I'm just staying here tonight and tomorrow I'm on my way. That's what means camp. So, any place is a good place if you have a mission. If you know where you're going, any place is a good place. But if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So if someone were to ask you, what is the purpose of your stay here in Gauradesh, Iskon, Cologne, Köln, Taunusstraße? No? What is the purpose of your staying here? That's a good thing to ponder, right? That's a good thing to meditate about. Why? Because purpose defines our intention. It focuses us on what is my real desire and what is my objective. What am I really trying to obtain? Now I know in these transient times, a lot of people, they think, let me just survive, okay? I just want to get through. But get through what? Get through the day, through the week, through the year, through the decade, through the life. Once you realize that the energy is eternal, not just what you see, but also the higher energy is eternal, then time takes on kind of a different type of dimension. Then, have you wrapped your mind around eternity? It's a little longer than we can imagine. So if someone were to ask you, well, what are you going to do with the rest of eternity? Huh? Survive? You already know that you're eternal, and you're wise, and you're blissful. Sat Chit Ananda. That's your inherent quality. So then what? What comes next? It kind of makes everything else superfluous, right? It kind of put all the plans and schemes and ideas pretty much to shame. Because in the face of eternity, in the face of wisdom, in the face of bliss, all these plans and ideas and schemes are puny, trivial, and despicable. So what is it that we're truly trying to attain? Prema Pumartha Mahan. We're trying to attain pure love of Godhead. Bhakti, Pareshanubhavo, Viraktir Anyatrascha, Chaisha Trika Ekakala, Pratyabnam Nasya Yatashnatas Shus, Tushti Pushti Kshut Apayo Anugasam. There he goes. So, Bhakti, what does Bhakti give you? People will ask you sometimes, right? Why are you doing this Hare Krishna thing? Have they ever asked you, why are you doing this Hare Krishna thing? Huh? Why are you not just some normal girl, who just goes to the store and buys stupid stuff? And why are you not just a normal boy, Huh? Anyone ever ask you why you do this Bhakti thing?
Because I love Krishna.
Because you love Krishna, yes. Bhakti Paresha Anubhava. Huh? You get a direct perception of the Lord. You get direct communion. You get a direct experience. Anubhava. Yeah. You get bhava. You get the real deal, the real feeling, the real emotion. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It's not just some idea, but it's real. It's substantial. Yeah. Every time you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna's there. He says, okay, you want to dance? Let's dance. Huh? Krishna is not like Nah, 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 nah. Today, nah. You, nah. I'm not in the mood. No, that's not Krishna. Krishna is, hey, yeah, sure. You want to dance? You all want to dance? Okay, I'll dance with you. That's Krishna. So you get direct experience of the Supreme and direct experience also of yourself, because we are a small part of Krishna. And then, what happens? Virakti. All of a sudden, you become a little detached from the material world. Have you noticed? Have you noticed how all of a sudden you feel a little bit of vairagya when you come to the Hare Krishna temple? And then you go back to your little room or flat or penthouse or cave or wherever you might be dwelling. And you realize, what are all these things here? What is all this stuff? Why did I waste so much energy and time to just accumulate so much stuff that's actually totally superfluous? It's just external. Have you ever had that realization? One person said yes. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. No, that's what's supposed to happen when you practice bhakti. All of a sudden you realize that I'm good just with Krishna. That's fine. Everything else is, it comes, it goes. And what else happens? Tushti pushti kshut anoyonugasan. Just like when you eat food, what do you get? What is the first thing you get? Satisfaction, right? You feel like this is good. I like this, This is satisfying. You get nourishment, and then your hunger goes away. So in a similar way, when you have direct experience of the Supreme Lord, then you feel satisfaction. You feel nourished. And your fear, your sorrows, your anxieties go away. Have you ever had anxiety in your life?
Yes.
3 people said yes. Okay, the rest is doing great. Wonderful. So, what do you do when you get anxiety? You count your money, you drive to the mall, you call your mom, you start hacking on your phone like an idiot. No, what do? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You stick your hand in your bead bag and you chant a few rounds. You chant another 16 rounds. And what happens? All of a sudden, anxiety is gone. Have you noticed? No? You should try it out. I guarantee you, it works. Or you just open up Bhagavad Gita and you read, hey, I'm eternal. I'm wise. I'm blissful. I'm not my job. I'm not my current situation. I'm Atma. If you know that, you're a superhero. Krishna says, you're amazing. And when you're a superhero, no one can touch you. Would you like that? That no one can stop you? You're unstoppable? That'd be pretty cool, right? Now that's our true identity. But because of misidentification with matter, we become limited. We become compromised. The kryptonite. I know you're too young for Superman, The modes of material nature, they besmudge you. They make you vulnerable. Why? Because we identify with Asat, Achit, and Nirananda. And we think, I'm sad, and this is a terribly long class, and this guy is saying the same stuff that I already knew and already heard before. And we don't rejoice in hearing the words of Krishna and discussion on Bhagavad philosophy because our mind is never really fully there. We're never really fully focused on the moment. We hear the music, we hear the giggling in the pujari room, we hear the people slamming doors, we hear everything except Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Krishna is giving us kindly, mercifully, all these tools to understand what is what and how do we fit in this great, grandiose arrangement. Now, if you are in a predicament, if you're in a pickle, if you're in a difficult situation, You have to understand how you got there in order to get out of it. Huh? If you think, oh, I'll just keep driving and everything will be okay. Have you ever tried that? Huh? I'm lost, but I'll just keep driving and everything will be fine. Have you had that experience? Have you tried that? Terrible. Not the greatest idea, right? So, and sometimes it's a little difficult because it forces us to introspect and it forces us to backtrack, to retrace our steps. How did I get here? How did I end up, not just in this place, but in this situation? How did I end up in the mature world? Well, I saw the ads. I bought into the American dream, into the German dream, into the whatever dream it is, and I did not care, I did not bother to read the fine print. Did you read the fine print on that package that said mature world? You know, Materialny mir? Did you read the fine print on the packaging? It's amazing, isn't it? Whenever something starts beeping, some adult person jumps up and runs out the door. It's crazy, isn't it? Like, how did we ever allow these little machines to take so much control over our lives? Can you imagine? Grown-up person? Totally controlled by a little thing, a little piece of plastic and metal. It's amazing, right? So, Krishna is giving us the tools how to free ourselves from this whole quagmire, from this whole labyrinth. Like you were trapped in a pyramid. What would you do? Keep walking? You see skeletons, you see, dragons and snakes and scorpions. You jump over quicksand. What would you do? What would you do? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Yes. You can also call your friend who studied anthropology and he still got the blueprint of the pyramid. And he has the plan of the people who build it. And he can guide you how to get out of it. But because we're proud, we're in Abhiman. You know Abhiman? I already know. I got it figured out. Why? Because I'm old, because I read a few books, because I have a few titles, because I have some money, I traveled some countries. This is called false ego, misidentification. And that's why we don't want to listen to the people who actually built this whole contraption. Huh? So, if we are actually serious about advancing in life, we should consult with the people who have built this entire situation. And then we would also get the insight on how to extract ourselves from this situation. Now, of course, there's a lot of people who say, why extract myself? I'm in paradise. I'm in heaven. Da 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 da, da da da. I'm here in Germany, I'm doing my master's, I'm already getting paid for it, and I can do any damn thing I want, and there's no one here to check me. Have you met a few people who thought like that? Huh? Just a few, right? And you have seen what happened to them? Yeah, they crashed pretty badly. Because especially Deshis are not meant to live like dogs and pigs, because they come from a cultured background, they come from a more refined sattvic background. And all of a sudden you try to do what you're not supposed to do, and then you see first-hand experience that this doesn't work. Have you noticed? Yeah. So, but we didn't read the package on the print on the package. So that's why we have Bhagavad Gita, and we should consult it on a daily basis, because otherwise it's easy to get a little confused. So today is epistemology, ABC, the hermeneutics, the basics. What is this world? Who am I? What the heck am I doing here? And where am I supposed to be going? Well, as I tell when I give classes either in prisons or in rehab clinics, which is pretty much the same, It's just, you know, some have a few more bars than others. There's two ways to go. You can go up or you can go down. The choice is yours. You can't go left or right because you're confined. So either we understand our true spiritual nature and we evolve, or we identify with matter and we degrade. That choice is ours. But Krishna is very kind. Time and time again he appears through his incarnations, through the acharyas, the teachers. He appears as scripture, as the holy name. And he's handing us so many opportunities. He's handing us so many kudos, he's throwing us so many safety rings. But we think, no, I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to figure this one out. I'm a big boy. I can handle this. And thus we're prolonging our sojourn here in this world. So, these are some reflection on today's verse. We've got a few minutes for questions, comments, and reflections. On this topic, related topics, or anything that goes through your mind.
You told or you shared that when we go to the temple and we have the association, we lift up our consciousness, we are kind of Krishna conscious, and we go home and we think, hey, why all this? I bought all this stuff, or why the material duties, let's say, become not so important anymore. But as Grihastha, still we have to maintain our life, we have to go to work and this and that. So how we can find the balance that we don't kind of get rejected to our duties, but still not get attached towards it.
Dharma svanusita pungsang vishakshena katasu yad notparayed yadiradim shrama eva kevalam. Yes, you do your duties, that's fine. But you have to see the connection with Dharma. If you forget about that connection, then it's Shrama Eva Kevalam. It just becomes for naught. It just becomes useless. You may gather all the toys, but all the toys go back on the shelf. Everything will be taken from you. But if you use your Grihastha ashrama, you know what ashrama means?
Spiritual institution.
It's a place of spiritual practice. Now, whether you practice as a student, or you practice as a married person, or you practice as a detached or renounced person, that is a detail. But you have to practice. You have to practice spiritual life, because that's the purpose of the human form of life. Tato brahma jigyasa. The purpose is not to just run around trying to get more stuff and more sense gratification. So, when we utilize our opportunities, our facilities, our environment for spiritual practice and for service, then what seems to be, then the situation that seems to bind us will actually liberate us. Interesting, huh? That's Grihastha ashram, when it's properly executed. These are the ropes that will free you. Pretty cool, huh?
Yes.
But it's a science. And you have to actually follow the formula. It's scientific. So this whole idea of either I'm attached and I'm the controller and I enjoy, or I walk away from it because I'm frustrated and it's all bad, both is bogus. Both is useless. It's bhoga and tyaga. Oh, I want to enjoy so bad, but I can't because I don't have the money and the facility. It's all bad. Sour grapes, huh? You know sour grape philosophy? The little fox, he's got very short legs, you know? The little fox wants to go and eat the grapes, but he can't get them because he's too short. So he's trying, but he can't. So then he says, they're all sour, and he walks away. Huh? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, he gives the example that is two friends, they're talking together. And one of them says, did you know what I just saw this morning? And the other says, no, tell me. And he said, you know Joshi? He's a high court judge now. And the other one said, Joshi? No, Joshi's an idiot. He can't be the high court judge. No, I saw him. He was on the bench. You know, he was he wearing the wig and, passing judgment on cases. And then the other guy says, no, Joshi, he's a dumb guy. The other one said, no, I saw it with my own eyes. The other one says, okay, all right, he might be a high court judge, but I'm sure he's not getting paid for it. Why? Sour grapes. Envy. Huh? So, it's important that we analyze our situation here, otherwise we may get trapped. Instead of getting liberated and making advancement, we may get trapped in our situation. And then it will take a very long time. Okay? So Grihastas supposed to be very charitable, adhering to their dharma, and having solid spiritual program, and maintaining, supporting the other ashrams. It's not that they should, take loans from sannyasis and, Because now in Kali Yuga, the sannyasis have all the money. Not all of them, just a few. Other points? I know you're getting bombarded with classes here. You got so many sadhus and swamis and preachers coming through. So tomorrow we got Harinam Sankirtan at 12 noon. So please invite all your 5,000 friends to come down. We're going to start at where? At which place? Main station, Hauptbahnhof. And bring your dancing shoes, okay? It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Okay, any other points? Da.
How to understand that one is making progress in the spiritual life?
Virakti, you get detached. Things that were important before, all of a sudden they become less important or unimportant. All of a sudden you have more taste for spiritual practice. You want to chant more. You want to read more. You want to hear more. That's a sign that you're making advancement. But if you think, oh, it's class, nah, Bhagavad Gita, I heard this before. Let me go do some other stuff. Then you understand, I'm still suffering from this disease of Bhavaroga, of the mature world. Okay? Taste. Kus. Where is my taste? For what do I have taste? What are the things that I truly enjoy? Follow your taste. Then you will see where you're at. Okay? And taste comes through practice, through good association, through service, and through mercy. When we please the Vaishnavas, through our humility, through our sincerity, through our service attitude. Just like Narad Muni. He was the young Narad Muni, he was the son of a maidservant. His mom was illiterate. But somehow he was assisting her in whichever small way he could. And when the sages stayed in Chaturmasya, in the 4 months of the rainy season, when they stayed in that area, his mom would serve those sages. She would clean, she would do chores, bring water, fetch this, do that. And he would help, he would assist. He's a small boy. And one time, with the permission of the sages, he ate their remnants from their plates. And he would help with whatever would need help. And later on, he became Narad Muni. And he started on his spiritual journey. Simply by this agyata sukriti, by this unknown benefit from association and from serving saintly persons. Okay? In case you wanted to know how to make rapid spiritual advancement. The shortcut, That's the way. But because we're conditioned, we think, oh no, there's no pure devotees. There's no one is qualified. Because we project our own conditioning, insecurity, and faults onto others. And then we think, well, let me jump, let me jump. Let me go to the highest place, Radhakund. When the devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, I want to go to Radhakund. And Srila Prabhupada said, no, you shouldn't go there. It's not required. There's already enough monkeys there. There's some time lag here, with the translation. So you have to wait till the joke is over. That's why kirtan doesn't work in call and response on the internet, because of the time lag, and it becomes a little awkward. But eventually everyone gets it. Other points? And you will never be able to fully assess your spiritual progress. Why? Because we're not objective, we're subjective. That's why we need sadhu sangha. We need the association of others. You need peer review. What are you guys doing? IT? Somebody else? No? Anyway, science, whatever it is, you have to have people assessing your performance. Otherwise you can be good, but you can't be great. Unless you have other people testing what you are doing. And that's why we have sangha. So that we can not just hold ourselves accountable, but that we can avail ourselves of the insights, of the realizations, of the example of practitioners who are better, who are more advanced than we are. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Now, sometimes it's a little uncomfortable when you come into a gathering and to talk, the level of discussion is on a different level than what you're used to. It's a little challenging. It'll force us to raise to a higher state of consciousness. But that's good. That's good. Last question.
How to be emotionless? Is being
How to be
emotionless?
Emotionless.
Is being too emotional a bad thing?
No, it's impossible to be emotionless because the soul is sentient. Sentient means you have desires. So to become without desires is not possible. Even when this body dies, you will still have desires and go to another situation. Hare Krishna. Now, when the garland comes at the end of the class, I don't know what it means. It means, will you stop or get out of here or, or whatever, But anyway, so you can't become nothing because you are something. Right now you're a something. You notice that? If you don't notice it, bang your head against the wall. You notice, right? You exist, like you're here. Okay? So, and you have certain desires. You have certain emotions. Now I know it's hard because you're techies and you've done a lot of cramming of data and a lot of mechanical and electronical and whatever else science stuff you put in your head. And if you ask them, how do you feel right now? They will say, I don't feel anything. And then I usually ask the person, well, where should I hit you, Excuse me, we need an ambulance down here, send a chopper. We got a guy here, he doesn't feel anything. It's really bad, And they'll say, don't touch him, it's dangerous. So, if you don't feel anything, because you're so desensitized, or we have identified ourselves with matter for so long that we just become numb. We don't feel the pain anymore. There's people suffering and we just walk straight by and we think, whatever, tough luck. Have you seen that kind of situation? Yeah. So, that's not a good situation. That's not a good situation. But because the soul is part and parcel of Krishna, and so Krishna is supremely sentient and is supremely conscious, so we are also conscious, we're also sentient. But because we have misidentified with matter, we become desensitized, we become conditioned by this contraption, by this material situation. So, sometimes when you suffer too much, you think like, oh, let it all just be over. How can I get rid of the pain? Either take drugs, get intoxicated, jump from the roof, jump under a train. Let's just finish this situation. Or let's do it philosophically in a little bit more refined way. Nirvana. Everything is nothing. Shunyavad. Everything is nothing. Or Mayavad. Everything is one. It's all one. It doesn't matter. And you have all heard these type of ideologies, right? So, but that doesn't solve the predicament. I'm eternal. I'm wise. I'm actually blissful. I just forgot about it. That's why I need to be reminded. And I need to engage in a practice that actually reminds me of my true inherent nature. Because otherwise, like this pollen from this beautiful flower besmudged the Gita, I will become colored. I will be tainted with the environment that I associate with. Tara justamo bhava kamalobha dayaschaye chetai tairanavidam sitvam sattve prasidati. You have to get out of passion and ignorance and even goodness and come to a higher state of consciousness, Krishna consciousness. Evam bude param buddhva samstavyatmanamatmana chahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupa durashradam. Armed with that sword of knowledge, you have to slay this enemy of Ishvaroham Ahambogi. I'm the controller, I'm the enjoyer. I want this, I want that. Dehi ma, dehi. You have to get over this. And it takes a little bit of courage, but Krishna is giving us that courage in the Bhagavad Gita. So, you are a sentient being, inherently blissful and wise and eternal. And no one can take that away from you. That's pretty good news, isn't it? That's pretty cool. So just remember that, and you'll be fine. Yet, just knowing is not good enough. Even knowing what is right and wrong is not good enough. We have to act upon it. We have to apply ourselves to this practice. And because it's new, so we need a bit of help from our friends. But there's a lot of helpful souls here who are very willing and capable to help us and to engage us if we are willing to accept that advice. Thank you for your kind attention. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And if you want to speed up the process, share this message with others. Because God helps those who help themselves. Get busy for Krishna. Use your talents in Krishna's service. And Krishna will empower you. He'll give you unlimited opportunities, realizations, and resources. Hare Krishna.
Это да. Это тоже.
Wie geht's dir ständig?
Alles in Ordnung. Ja. Bleibe hier bis morgen. Bleibe hier bis morgen. Ich bin hier für 2 Monate gewesen. Ja, alles sehr interessant. Ich bin sehr froh. Ich glaube, ich habe ein bisschen mehr Leistung. Ich bin in der Schule gegangen jeden Tag. Ja, alles in Kolumbien. In Kolumbien.
You're the Pujara. Mama, das passiert.
Ja, ich war
Jetzt wieder zurück nach
ja, nein, morgen komme ich wieder zurück nach Frankfurt. Es gibt einen Termin, habe ich einen Platz, weil wir keine Zimmer hier ist, habe ich für das Soldaten September 19.
You have some coins for me?
Yes, I you? Yes.
I will send this with you. I will contact from Moscow.
Okay, so it's okay.
Yes. You can give to me, I will send to the